WCTCFM.com or listen on your smartphone with the iHeartRadio or TuneIn apps. Connect with WCTC on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube by searching 1450 WCTC. And now, back to Jersey's Morning Show, Jersey Central with Bert Barrett.
It's 7:38. It's Jersey Central on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. Welcome back inside the Forge Jewelers Studios. Good to have you here. We'll do our Need to Know Things coming up a little bit later on in this half hour of the show. Well, you know, it's customary to tip people during the holidays who help you throughout the year. But the question is, and it's a difficult one to answer, who do you tip and how much? Joining me now on the Jersey Central Newsmaker hotline from Kiplinger is Miriam Cross. She's here to discuss tipping and how it's done correctly and what's kind of the best way and the right way to do it, especially this time of year. Miriam, welcome to WCTC. How are you today?
Good. How about you?
Doing well, thank you. And I'm glad you made yourself available today. There's a little newspaper that I get delivered. It's they did a nice write-up on me when they put me in the New Jersey Radio Hall of Fame earlier this year, and I have a subscription to this little local paper. And one day there was an envelope in there, and I'm thinking, hey, look at this. They're giving me a gift or something. And I open it up, and it's just a blank envelope. And my wife is like, no, you have to put a tip in there to tip them for delivering the paper to you all year. That's how it works. Something like that, if I wanted to give a nice tip to the person who brings the newspaper, is there a specific amount, or how do I exactly determine when it comes to something like that?
So we recommend $10 to $30 for a newspaper delivery person, plus a holiday card showing your appreciation.
So I could do like $30 and a nice card, you think would be appropriate?
Yeah, that's definitely appropriate. That's even on the upper end.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't want to be perceived as being a cheapskate or something, so maybe I'll go in that route. How about when it comes to your mail carrier, the person that brings your mail every day? I know a day like this in Jersey, it's only in the 20s here today, so tough day to be delivering the mail. Is it appropriate to give a tip to the person that brings your mail every day?
So that one's a little tricky. USPS carriers are not allowed to accept cash. Instead, if you want to show your appreciation, you can give them a gift worth up to $20 in value. Just make sure it's not cash or a gift card that can be exchanged for cash.
So like a real physical gift for somebody? People still do that?
Yeah.
Wow.
They do, yeah.
Do you get I don't know, I guess they have a hat that's issued by the post office, so you can't get them a nice hat or something, but just like a little token, a little gift or something is appropriate, about $20 or so?
Yeah, a little token or, like a fruit basket or some sort of snack for them to enjoy while they're on the job.
That's a nice idea. Okay, maybe go in that route. How about when it comes to a teacher? You know, teachers in Jersey provide a great education to our students. Do you tip a teacher, Miriam? Is that tacky or is that something that's acceptable?
That one's also tricky because you can't give cash to a teacher. That could be misconstrued as a bribe, make other kids in the class feel uncomfortable. So instead, a small gift, again, plus a note or a drawing from your child. Or if the school allows it, you can get together with the other parents in your class and get the teacher a nice gift card.
So maybe some parents will get together and just say, hey, we wanted to give you a nice little present for your work all year. That's acceptable too?
Yeah, like a gift card to a restaurant or movies or something fun like that.
Okay. That's something a little bit more than just an apple on the desk, something a little more a little more valuable than that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. How about your hairstylist? I get a haircut. I've been going to the same woman for, 1998. So I've been going to the same person that's been cutting and styling my hair for 18 years now, Miriam. And I always give her a nice restaurant gift card, or I give her like a real nice present because she does great work, and we've been friends for almost 20 years. Now, there's a person who cuts my hair, and there's someone who washes my hair. Am I on the hook for tips for both of them this year?
Yeah, so in that case, if it was just one person, you would tip them up to the cost of one visit. For if you have two people working on you, then just divide that amount up proportionally.
And that's acceptable to do it that way as well?
Yeah, and actually what you do right now, giving them a gift card, that's a really, really nice gesture, especially if you've been friends with them or, they've been like a great ear for you over the years.
I picked her out of the Yellow Pages almost 20 years ago. I said, I need a place. It's a haircut. I don't know any of the places around here, so I just picked one blindly, and I've been going there every 5 weeks, literally for the last 18 years. So, all right,
that's awesome.
That's good to know. That's a good one there. Miriam Cross is our guest this morning on Jersey Central. We're talking about tipping and the appropriate way to do that. And there's some things you got to keep in mind, like she had mentioned, that it is illegal for your mail carrier to accept cash. So you got to come up with sort of a different little reward for them if you'd like to. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on a daily basis. Maybe someone uses a child care. Maybe someone uses child care every day, Miriam. That's obviously somebody you want to give a nice tip or a nice gift to, right?
Right. So for a nanny who helps you out every day, at least a week's pay. Or instead, if you have a babysitter who helps out, here and there, 1 or 2 nights' pay is a good amount, especially if they've really come through for you in an emergency.
Well, this is going beyond a tip. This sounds almost like a holiday bonus now. A free week's pay? That's kind of the going rate?
Yeah, for a nanny, yeah. I
Wow.
mean, they're the one helping you with your child, so
Yeah, pretty
they
important
definitely
thing.
deserve.
Pretty important, I would think,
Yeah,
right? How about
yeah.
I don't live in a city, Miriam, but I know that some people that live in these high-rise buildings in cities have these doormen that kind of make sure you get in and get out okay and keep an eye on things and open the door for you. That's somebody that if you live in a city, you want to take care of, right?
Yeah, actually, so I have to do that myself soon. So Doorman, between $20 and $100 is a good amount to tip, which I know is a huge range. But if you live in, say a high-end building or a higher cost of living area, then you tip more towards the upper end. But check with your building to see if there's some sort of central fund they have.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually what happens in my building. We write a check to the management, and then they'll divide up the tips appropriately.
Gotcha. How about what if it's like a first responder, maybe a police officer or a firefighter or someone who's on the ambulance that you just want to say, hey, nice job, you guys, this year. Here's a little something from me. Is that appropriate?
So you wouldn't tip those types of people. That would not be appropriate. But instead, if someone's really helped you out, feel free to write a lovely holiday card. I mean, no one writes handwritten cards anymore, or a tray of treats, some sort of baked goods. That would be fine.
A donation to the Police Benevolence Association, maybe something
Actually,
like that is good.
that would be perfect. Actually, that's a
That's a
great
good
idea.
one too. All right, we only have about a minute
Yeah.
or so left, Miriam, but I wanted to talk about something I struggle with very often, and that is restaurant tipping. I get the receipt, I get the bill, and it's like I start doing math in my head, and it's like, you
Hmm.
know what? Simplify this. If the service was good, give a fair amount of money. If the service wasn't so good, you got to remember that these are working people. They're making low hourly wages. They rely on these tips to pay their bills and feed their families, and you got to do the right thing. I was at a restaurant on Saturday, and our server was a guy probably, I'm going to say he was probably in his mid 60s or so. And I'm thinking, you know what? This guy is probably here because maybe he's been out of work for a while. Maybe he's a widower who was just trying to pick up a couple of extra hours of work and get out of the house and take his mind off of things. If I was this guy at that age, I would not want to be waiting tables on a Saturday night myself. So I made a point to give him a very extra generous tip because this is a guy who's probably, maybe he's just desperate for the work or whatever. Restaurant tipping standards, has that changed? Is it still kind of 15% for breakfast and 20% for other meals, or am I kind of lowballing it now?
Well, I'd say 15% is definitely on the low end nowadays. Nowadays, the norm is more 18 to 20%. But as you were just saying, you want a way to simplify it. 20%, that's definitely an easy thing to calculate.
Go 20% across the board.
Yeah,
Okay.
18 to 20% is appropriate. 20% is just the simplest. And then, for poor service, of course, you should still tip, but also speak to the manager and explain why you were disappointed.
Yeah, don't just like leave no tip because you thought the service was bad, because that's a real nasty
Yeah,
thing to do, right?
for sure.
Yeah, and I love reading the stories where someone will go and order like a slice of cherry pie and a coffee and leave $100 because the service was that good. Those are the stories that I really enjoy. Is there a
Yeah,
website,
me too.
Miriam? Maybe is there somewhere where I could send my listeners to kind of check out this and get some more details?
Yeah, check out Kiplinger.com. We have a roundup of the 16 people you should tip for the holidays, and we
Mm-hmm.
also have a tipping quiz.
A tipping quiz. All right, I got to take the quiz
Yeah.
and see how I would have done. Good stuff. Miriam Cross, thanks for your time this morning. Happy holidays to you, and I learned a lot about tipping today, so thanks so much for your help, all right?
You're very welcome.
All right, have a great day. Thank you. All right, Miriam Cross, my guest on the Jersey Central